news you missed, and what better way to start our show each week than to plunge headfirst into the news that networks probably did not pick up. Or if they did, they didn't come with our bias, at least. The first one that we have up here for you guys this week is, and it's a real face palmer, an Oklahoma charity has been rejected. Actually, no, sorry, the Oklahoma charity rejected the atheist donation. So he's raising more money until they say yes. And
good for them.
I don't know if anybody's heard about this, but Matt Wilborn, if you wanted to go listen to the latest, what the hell is his name? Sorry, I hate doing this shit to you guys, but he's the, fuck it, never mind. There's a podcast out there where this guy is on there, and sorry, dead air. Anyway, I'll clip this whole fucking thing out. So, Matt Wilborn is an atheist living in Muskogee, or I don't know how you fucking pronounce it. In Oklahoma. And he tried donating $100 to a home that for local children, which many of whom are orphans, and his money was rejected by the organization after they had learned that his contribution was made behalf on the local atheist organization, which I think he's the leader of. And it started on Monday when a staffer for the Murrow Indian Children's Home came to his workplace to try to get some programs printed up for a powwow that they have coming. And in the past few years, the company has been printing those programs for free as an act of goodwill. But Matt was told that his employer, they wouldn't be doing that again this year. So he felt bad because he thought that the Children's Home was an organization worth supporting. He actually knows about this charity. He had no idea it was being backed by a Baptist group. And so when he got the form, when he printed off the forms for the lady, she handed him one, and he's like, here's $100. And they took the money and they walked away. But he put on the form, it says, do you want to give your donation from do you want it to be coming from somebody? So like how the Atheists of Utah did with the
Planned Parenthood?
Yes. The Planned Parenthood money that we earmarked for Gary Herbert.
Which they did, by the way.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. Yeah. And they did acknowledge it was from us. So
good.
He put in there, it said Muskogee Atheist Community at the bottom of the donation sheet, and they took the money, and then they called back like an hour later, and they said we can't accept your money because it would go, quote, go against everything that they believe in.
Everything.
And the spokesperson said, everything.
Really? Everything.
They go fuck themselves, because if their religion is more important than making sure kids are taken care of, then they can fuck right off.
Of course it's more important to them.
Here's the thing that I don't get. I don't remember when Jesus said not to take money from atheists. Was that in Paul or was that Moroni? I can't remember where that was located.
I don't know. I thought he had a very generally negative impression of money.
I think
what with all the table flipping.
No, he also did say to sell your cloak and buy a sword.
Yeah, he did. he was a right.
So I'm just saying, it's okay to have money. I just figured out why conservatives. It's okay to have a lot of money as long as you're buying weapons with it.
Love
that epiphany moment that you just had after a shot too. That's amazing.
I'm really good at figuring stuff out when I'm drunk.
So anyway, they didn't accept the money, and the Wilborn guy, the Matt Wilborn, said that no, I'm not taking my money back. In fact, I'm going to go talk to my wife, and we're going to make it $250. And surely they wouldn't reject that kind of money. But no, the American Baptist Churches Association, the person that called him up and said, we're not taking your money, was actually the middle, what do I want to say? It's the person in the middle. It's not the actual, it's not against their beliefs. It's middle man. There you go.
We're sexist enough to remember that it's a male term. That's
go me.
Like you're like middle person. You're the best.
The Baptist-run charity cares for American Indian children that are in out-of-home placement as a result of abuse and neglect. So they rejected that money to help those kids because it came from an atheist group. You know, as if somehow touching our dirty fucking atheist hands makes it like sullied somehow. Like they still can't spend it to like buy some kids some socks or anything like that.
That's exactly my fucking point. That's exactly my fucking point, is that it spends the same, motherfuckers. Look, we in the Atheists of Utah, I happen to know for a fact that we have a couple Christian members, people who pay membership. You think we're turning them away? Fuck
hell no. Because it all spins the same.
It does. And if they're going to support what our organization does and what we stand for, then by all means.
Like, if you want the newsletter, here you go.
Yeah. You want us to support separation of church and state, which is actually why they're a part of our organization, because they feel like there's not enough organizations in Utah who do that. So,
Kyle, you're muted. He's
talking.
He's talking. But I hear you talking, but no words are coming out your lip. I mean, words are coming out, but we cannot hear them. Yes. So anyway, he wanted to give 100. They said no. He wanted to give 250, and surely they wouldn't reject that kind of money. And they did.
They don't pay taxes.
It came from atheists. So
250 is nothing. They don't pay taxes.
So no, they don't.
And that's when Matt and his wife had an epiphany themselves, and they said, everyone has a price, and so they started a GoFundMe.
Nice.
And as of like his interview with Seth Andrews from The Thinking Atheist, I remembered it finally. I just had to send a query to the long-term storage there. It finally came back. When he was doing the podcast, like just a couple of days after it started, it was like 9,000. And as of me doing the show notes yesterday, it was $28,000.
Jesus Christ!
That's
awesome. And they still weren't going to take it.
What? That is an obscene amount of money right there. But I think maybe they're just worried that we're trying to buy kids for the next barbecue.
If they're looking for a charity with a good cause and they want to give that money, so we'll take it. We'll take the 28.
No, Matt and his wife had already set up
Utah Outcasts, although the Utah Outcasts would love that too. But I'm talking about a charity.
No, Matt and his wife said already after they started crossing into like the 10,000 range, they're like, "Fuck, well, we got to have this go into a different account. We can't have this be in our personal account because the IRS is going to come after us."
Good call.
And so any money that they raise, they said it'll go to Camp Quest if these people won't take it. So it'll go to a good cause.
Oh, that's good.
Those are good guys. Yeah.
And so when I started doing the notes the other day, I noticed that there was a fucking firestorm of stuff going on, and it was flash in the pan. It was really fucking fast. There was a Christian who didn't like the fact that they had this fundraiser going that started his own fundraiser for the children's home, apparently to spite atheists for making such a big deal about all of this.
Yeah.
And it was from a guy named Who, so it was Who's fundraiser of spite or something like that. So they put in the fucking fundraiser that it was there for spite.
Mm-hmm. Really?
And the person said,
they did.
I feel like that's not like I feel like that one is in the Bible. Like you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, here's the guys.
That one is in there. Like you're not supposed to.
He says, "I'm a Christian. I'm a citizen of the Muskogee Creek Nation that supports Murrow Indian Home. Murrow takes in tribal children in the foster system that are not able to be placed with other foster families."
I love how you're reading it. This is the best, I just have to say. I love the Muskie family. We're taking all the children.
It's one of my good voices I can do. All them years of being brought up in the South.
I was going to say, he's from the South. He can do the South.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. I love it.
They are a faith-based organization that has recently came under the scrutiny for many for standing firm in their faith and not accepting monies. I hate it when monies. From the Muskogee Atheist Club, SICK, which is not actually the name of the group, to sponsor their powwow. A powwow is a sacred event, which I'm sure Christians would view as something that should not be done because it's pagan.
Of course it is.
In my opinion, was selected by this organization not out of their goodwill, but only to stir the pot. I am inspired by Murrow's faithfulness, so we are starting a new GoFundMe page to support their powwow. If you feel led to support them, please do. If not, do not. If not, do not.
Do not.
You don't need to give that detailed of instruction. Wait, Christians, sorry. Second, if the other group is so inclined to donate, just cut them a check. No strings attached. No need for recognition, but that's not your intention. So he's saying, leave your name out of it. No, it's the fact that you won't take it from the people's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no. The name is the important thing, asshole.
Yeah. The Baptist group, I found out, is pissed off about it because the donation for $100 would go into the program that was going to be handed out for this powwow, and it would show that money came from atheist groups. So they did not like that. So this guy he's strawmanning the group for no fucking reason at all.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, but this is exactly what I've actually had a conversation with my dad about. Just our existence. Christianity acknowledging atheism is a threat to them because they have told everyone for so long that without God, you can't possibly get along. You can't be okay. And
I love how people try to say I have no morals. I love that one.
Right.
Where do you get your morality from?
See, if they,
I don't know.
If they acknowledge that an atheist group gave money to a morally, what's the word? I'm not just justified, but
ambiguous.
No, a morally a morally righteous cause.
Yeah.
Then they can't claim that we have no morality, or at least it muddies the waters a bit. Yeah. And so by them acknowledging it, it completely threatens their ideology, that people can't be good, that they can't be happy, that they can't be kind without God. Just by acknowledging it, they're undermining their own position, and that is why. That is why. Which means that to them, it's not the truth that matters. That's exactly the case. If they don't care about the truth, it's about their ideology. It's about their religion, not the truth. Obviously.
Well, no, so most of them wouldn't know the truth if it smacked them in the face.
Fair enough.
The atheist, well, actually, the fundraiser that the person had set up, the Who's campaign that he had up there, atheists caught wind of it really quick because, we're quick with social media like a motherfucker.
We do how to do that one.
And so we found out about this fundraiser that was made for spite, and atheists started donating to it, and they made sure that people knew that they were atheists when they started donating.
Nice.
Like $50 from an atheist, $50 from a godless atheist. And so all of this spite that was happening and all this.
If I ever do they've got your amazing atheist and you got your thinking atheist, I'm going to be the slutty atheist. I think so.
No, I'm going to take it first, goddammit.
I just said it. There's a record.
There's a nipple. I saw a nipple. There's a nipple on this. That's crazy. You can't do that.
I do that for the fans.
I can't.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. He won't even. He won't go out in public in no shirt. I will. I don't mind. I would love to.
I'm fat. There's a lot of fat shaming that goes on in this world.
I gained a few pounds.
Come on, Felicia. I got two of you in me.
Sorry, we were talking about.
So anyway, the fundraiser was going on, and all of these atheists started donating to it, and the fundraiser got shut down. The GoFundMe for this guy, he shut it down.
Yeah.
Because can't have them godless heathens donating money to this fundraiser.
No, how dare they? They can't be moral.
Because the spite was more important than the money, of course.
It's just fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I hate people like this.
The truth doesn't matter. The religion matters, because if the truth mattered, they wouldn't keep believing it. That's the reality.
All right, the next one that we have. Oh, go for it.
The truth is that atheists are people, and some of them are assholes, but a lot of them, like people do, like to give to charity. And they like to support people who need help, and they want to build other people up. That's just kind of a human thing that most of us like doing. Yeah. And if they acknowledge their humanity, then they're wrong. Then their religion is wrong.
All right, let's move into the next news story that we have here. We have a Kansas City Baptist minister who is very pissed off that he was counting on a $65,000 grant from the Kansas City tourism tax dollars from the National Baptist Convention that was happening in Kansas City, around Labor Day, so September 5th through 9th. Mm-hmm. And they said, well, we're going to use that $65,000 to shuttle people to and from hotels and we're in the convention center and everything. We're doing it. It's secular because we're only using it for the transportation costs.
No, that's not how it works.
Two members of American Atheists in Kansas City filed a lawsuit in federal court arguing such funding would violate Missouri's constitution. So it's not even First Amendment; it's Missouri Constitution that they're violating.
Dear God!
So, National Baptist Convention USA is the nation's largest predominantly African American Christian denomination, and it's headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee. Tucker, I'm sorry.
Oh, Tucker.
And it has about. Actually, I'm going to be on a show tomorrow. Yay!
Oh, fun! You were great.
Yeah, I love talking. Let's see. Kansas City officials say no contract will be signed with Miles without assurances that the money will go for secular purposes. But now that it's so close to the time of the convention that any contract signing is virtually ruled out because they can't do it quick enough to get him his money. So, and Miles says, all of us are in tears. I'm up at night praying. That's all I know to do. Yeah, all you know to do is to pray. It's no wonder.
Can you read everything in that voice? Is my question.
Lord, I could give it a try.
Dear Jesus, please help us in Kansas City.
Oh my! I swear I'm getting the vapors.
So, city manager Troy Schultz said this week that the only option is to raise the money from private sources.
You know,
and the city will try to help Miles with that outreach.
They don't pay.
Yeah,
well, you guys didn't catch that last part. Is that the city is going to try to help that person with outreach to try to advertise that they need the private money.
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
You don't understand that those wages are paid with tax dollars, do they?
They don't get it at all.
And it's the state constitution. It's not even the fucking First Amendment. Not even federal court kind of shit here. It's just they don't understand how to play within the own laws of their own fucking constitution. And it just makes me laugh that they're so stupid.
And what drives me crazy is those things were written into state level constitutions and the federal constitution, not because of atheists or Muslims. It was written in because the Christians couldn't agree. Like, that's why.
My Jesus is better than your Jesus.
Exactly. The separation of church and state in the colonies, in the original Bill of Rights, was because they were like, well, I decided I like Baptist. And some people were like, yeah, but we like the Anglican church. And some of them were like, we don't want to go to church. And they all were like, well, I guess we can just play nice. It wasn't because of atheists and Muslims, and it wasn't like it was Methodists and Baptists and Catholics and Protestants, and that's why.
Well, the thing is, like, this thing that's going to be going on from the 5th to the 9th of September, it's got 20,000 people coming to it.
Yeah.
And they've got 8,200 hotel rooms booked, like almost $8 million of economic impact. So, I mean, this is going to make a lot of money for the city. So, I mean, I can understand why they would want to chip in and say, hey, we'll shuttle people around. But the problem is, it's not a secular event. You know, it's not.
It's not.
It is very much a religious-based event. So, I mean, okay, let's put it in the perspective here. $65,000, 20,000 people attending, even if you take out women, and probably not even like the children. I bet you not many children are going to be coming to something like this. I mean, they might drag them along, but it's not something that's made predominantly for them. So we say 15,000 people, and you have $65,000. Let's round it down to $60,000. That's $4 each person has to kick in for fucking bus fare. It's not that big of a fucking deal.
No,
you don't need to be up late at night praying about shit. Just charge them a rider. Give them put a fucking bucket out in the entrance. Say, give me $5.
If they can afford the
content. Oh, wait. They need tree fitty. That's what they need.
Tree fitty.
I should have done the math better. That would have been great. I should have made a long fucking equation. That comes out to be just about tree fitty.
You got to round it.
About tree fitty.
Tree fitty.
What I don't understand is why the city isn't just saying, why don't you just make everybody buy a cab?
Yeah. Uber and fucking Lyft. That's pumping money into the local economy too.
Kick more money into the local economy. That's the way to go.
How much I fucking love both those companies. I'm glad they exist, man.
Yeah.
Because people listening outside of Utah, and I know there's a handful of you guys out there, trying to catch a cab in Utah is bullshit.
It sucks.
It's not so bad. It's not too bad in the city. I mean, it's still terrible. But trying to catch a cab
in the city.
No, you can't.
Let's put it this way.
Catch a cab in the city.
No. Let's put it this way. Kyle, how lucky would I be to get a cab in fucking Clearfield?
Yes.
Oh God, there's no cabs up there.
No, it's not actually not going to happen.
I
have called them to
try to be responsible.
I have called and said, "Hey, could I get a cab come to my house to pick me up to take me into the city for a night?" Like, that'll be about. They said, well, not really, but that'd be about $80 each way.
Fuck me. Nope.
$80. Yeah.
And Kyle lives in Kaysville, so it's not even that far away from like downtown Salt Lake.
I live in Bountiful, and you could not get a cab. Same deal. Like, no, we're not driving out there.
Yeah, no, they just won't. It's like, oh no, we got to put like a big service fee on it. Like, it's fucking 20 miles. That's not far.
I will rather drink and drive and run the risk because that's still cheaper than paying fucking cab fare. I'm kidding. I'm only joking. People.
Nobody's drinking to drive.
To an extent.
Just a little.
Just a little.
No, I mean, I there have been times that I have sobered up and I realize there's probably no alcohol in my system anymore, but I'm still really, I probably should not have been driving because I was like, I'm tired.
Everybody gets to that point where you go, I'll just, back roads are okay. I can do back roads.
If I just stay in the carpool lane, I'll be okay.
Oh, God.
If I just concentrate really hard on the lines, I'll be okay.
Let's see. The Missouri Constitution says, in part, neither the General Assembly nor any county, city, town, township, school district, or other municipal corporation shall ever make an appropriation or pay from any public fund, whatever, anything in aid of any religious creed, church, or sectarian purpose.
Huh.
That's pretty fucking ironclad.
Yeah, that is pretty damn clear.
That's better than the Bill of Rights. Can we adopt that? That's really good.
Yeah, we have to keep going to the Establishment Clause,
Yeah, no, that was excellent. That was like
we got to go to Thomas Jefferson's actual meaning behind that.
And this is Missouri.
Yeah, believe it or not. Well, that is where the Garden of Eden is, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
For those non-Utah, non-Mormon people out there, Ammon-on-Mondi or whatever the fuck it is owned by split between the Church of Christ and the Mormon Church, and apparently was where the fucking Garden of Eden was. So,
wasn't it Jackson, Missouri too? Didn't they get really specific?
Yeah,
Jackson County.
Jackson County.
They own a lot of fucking property out there.
Lives in Jackson County, Missouri.
It creeps me out how much churches can own property. The Mormon Church owns more than Delaware sized land in this country.
They're the largest cattle owner in the United States.
Oh jeez,
that's a big fucking deal. Can we not underscore that enough? They are the largest cattle owner in the United States under their quote corporate arm. Here's how they fuck it though. They will transfer or they will sell for a penny their corporate stuff to the church property. Mm-hmm. And then it can stay in the church property without property tax until the cattle are profitable enough, and then they'll sell it back to their corporate arm.
That's a good business, man. For my small business, I wish I had a nonprofit arm. That would be so great.
No. It's not a nonprofit arm. Be very fucking clear. It's not a nonprofit.
Yeah, not nonprofits. You actually have to cite where all of your money goes to and from.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's all spent.
Church. Yeah. Okay. Also,
the church.
The church.
There is
Church of
I think you're onto something. I'd sacrifice the Green X.
The Green X.
Church of the Green X.
Let's remember, John Oliver established a real church. A very real church. Our Lady of Perpetual Exemption. And it's legit.
And, the IRS is looking hard because they're being told to look hard at John Oliver, whether he's a real church or not. I'm like, ooh, maybe they're going to finally start paying attention to religion that has this No, they're just trying to smack down one person.
Yeah.
That's actually doing good with that money. So
I'm still...
and he's met the rules, and he only had to do it once. He's done it. That's it. That's it.
I'm still conflicted. I'm still conflicted about the getting rid of the tax exempt status. I really am, because that means they can start getting involved. I mean, of course they're already involved, but in a
right. But they can do it in an unabashed way, and I get what you're talking about. I do.
Yeah.
Because then if we get rid of the tax exempt, then there's almost no separation between church and state anymore. But at the same time, nonprofits have a lot more to meet up to than churches do.
That money though.
For the $65,000 that is not going to the organization, they're going to roll it back into city coffers. Yeah, we knew that already. And it will be available for other tourism-related applicants that have a secular purpose.
Tourism
in
Kansas City. Tourism. I love going to Kansas City.
I cannot think of anything I would actually want to visit Kansas City for.
They got a fucking roller coaster somewhere in there, right? Ferris wheel?
Barbecue.
Yeah, I do spend a lot of time in lagoons. God damn it.
Actually,
funny story. Since the school started for the kids this week, and I was like, you know what? After I drop you guys off of school today, I'm going to go to Lagoon and ride every ride that I want to ride. I can go on Cannibal finally.
On my own. Oh God! If only Lagoon had a single rider line like they do.
Single rider, yo.
This episode that we in sequence say something that can be a musical, I'm gonna sing it apart.
Uh-oh, she's reached that level.
2.5 drinks deep. That's not even a joke.
Yeah, but you weigh like $110. So,
okay. So
thank you.
Just remind me later to bring up the name of the latest hurricane.
That's
no, I saw it. I know what it is.
Okay.
Okay, next one that we have up here, we have Fox News. Let's always talk about Fox News.
Okay.
If kids don't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance, go ahead and feel free to leave this fucking country.
Damn it, Bobby! You don't have to say the pledge if you don't feel like it.
So the other day, and Hemet Meta from Friendly Atheist, I'm sorry. Don't start your articles with the other day. No, that is a bad way of starting an article.
Once upon a time.
Yes.
Once upon a time in Jackson County, Missouri.
In a short time ago, approximately 8,000 minutes ago,
And it came to pass.
Give definitive time, please. So, a Florida man by the name of Micah Brianen, oh, never mind.
No.
Had an irrational overreaction after seeing that the Pledge of Allegiance opt-out page in his niece's student handbook.
Oh God, I saw this story.
Yeah, I've just been informed that. Let's see. I'm trying to think of a good voice for this guy.
Zach has a good Hank Hill.
Hank Hill.
After seeing the Pledge of Allegiance on the opt-out page in my niece's student handbook,
I've just been informed that the Pledge of Allegiance request form has been removed from the student handbook district-wide. They've torn it out of every handbook. Per an edict that came down from the district last night. We can make a difference. Let's save America together.
No, that's not how it works because you don't need to opt out.
Okay. So his big problem is that students could opt out.
Yeah.
Not that they do, that they could.
So I have a question though. And this is a legitimate question because I could be wrong. If I remember correctly, the Pledge of Allegiance was never intended to be like an indoctrination thing. It was never supposed to be something that was a requirement. It was supposed to be something that somebody does in an actual, genuine pledge.
The pastor that the guy from the church guy that wrote the Pledge of Allegiance, who said, "I don't like you guys including under God." It was during McCarthyism, so the Red Scare. You can't possibly say under God if you're some sort of atheist communist.
Well, no, I mean there's been a significant number of pastors throughout history who did oppose the combination of church and state. Obviously,
because you're watering it down.
Yeah. No, it meant a lot to them that they could have their religion as it was, and that the state didn't get to favor one over the other. It matters. Catholicism does have some significant differences in belief, but
I was gonna say I joke a lot. I mean, I do say that I'm anti-theist because I fucking hate religion. But the thing is, if people really did keep it to themselves,
it wouldn't be an issue at all.
I wouldn't have an issue with most of this shit, but they don't keep it to themselves, and that's the thing that I have a problem with. And so,
I'll take it a step further. I don't even care about proselytization. Yes, we should criticize, and yes, we should combat ideas, and we should say, no, I disagree with these ideas, and that's great. And but I do actually have theistic friends. That's actually a thing I do have. And
I get along with them just fine because we keep religion out of it.
Well, we can even talk God and why I don't believe. They don't.
I rub my hands together for people to start talking religion at work. I'm like, oh, are we going to do this? Are we going to do this? Is this really something we're going to be talking about tonight? Because I am ready.
It depends on the person, because I can get into a debate or I can explain where I'm coming from. But there are a lot of people who do believe that separation of church and state is meaningful and powerful. And they understand where I'm coming from in that aspect because they're there too. They want their religion to be protected as well as my non-religion. And
for the Missouri thing that we were for the Missouri thing that we were talking about, I brought it up to a Mormon guy at work last night, and we're talking ultradox Mormon.
Yeah,
he like this guy can't possibly be more Mormon than he possibly can be, because he was born in Scipio, went to BYU, graduated, lives out in fucking Syracuse, Utah, which is Provo North,
Dear God.
And so we were talking about this whole thing, and he's like, really? They turned down the donations? That's just terrible. And I'm like, Southern Baptist, right? And he's like, right.
Those motherfuckers.
That's what he was thinking.
Oh,
he's
God.
like, I remember running into Baptist on my mission, and they're like, hey, where's your horns? I'm like, those fuckers. I'm like, let me get you on. I love getting Mormon guys on my side when it comes to arguments against religion and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, now use that same thinking on your religion.
Oh no, that doesn't. No, I can't. No,
shit.
No way.
No. I'm supposed to doubt my doubts.
Okay, Felicia, go ahead.
My point simply was, if the pledge was always supposed to be an optional thing, and just since the 1950s, when we added the under God part, has it become an institutionalized prayer in schools? I mean, when I was in Catholic school, we would do the prayer and then the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm not even joking.
Private institution.
I said Catholic school. I did say Catholic school. They're allowed to do that. They are. I don't like it, and I can oppose the idea, but I'm not going to make laws that say they can't.
No, sir. I don't like it.
I'm allowed to say that. That was my point earlier, was we can have the open disagreement, but also people can be open with their faith, and we can criticize those ideas. That's fine. When they knock on our doors and when they try to pass legislation that controls behavior based on their religious ideologies, that's when we can get nasty.
That's where there's a problem.
The real funny thing here is that Florida thinking you needed permission to not say the pledge. Yeah. It's the student's decision. It's their First Amendment right to stand up or sit down for whatever the fuck they want to. And you should not be punished for not participating. My oldest is, she is shaping up to be some atheist. Let me tell you what right now, because I was, we bought a freezer today. And as I was cutting apart the styrofoam that it came packaged in, I managed to break out a cross section, and I held it up for her, and she came up and she ripped it in fucking half. I'm like, yeah, you go, girl. Anyway, and I've told her going to school sometimes, because I take her before I take the other kids, and I'm like, look, if you don't feel like standing for the pledge, you don't have to. You have the right to not say. You don't have to say the under God part. You don't have to say any of it if you don't want to. And she's like, fuck, my dad's telling me I don't have to do something. I love that. But the thing is, it could blow up in her face, because this is Utah, and kids are lockstep, oh, we don't question authority, better do what they say,
For years though, I never got in trouble for it or anything, but I did get weird looks for it. But for years, even before I didn't believe in God, well, I didn't believe in the Christian God by this point, but I still believed in concept.
That's an easy one.
Right. But I did actively understand the concept of separation of church and state, and why the under God shouldn't be in the Pledge of Allegiance. And so we would do the Pledge of Allegiance for years in school, all through high school and into middle school. Every time we got to the under God, I would remove my hand from my heart and stand, and then finish with my hand over my heart. I still to this day do that. I won't say under God. I did that at military celebration rituals. Ceremonies. Same fucking thing. It's a ritual. It's fucking ritual.
Let's loop it back into the actual news story we have here about Fox News. Attorney Ebony Williams, and I'm not one to tell black people how to do anything, but naming your kid Ebony, it's like me being a white guy naming my kid Ivory.
Oh God.
Can they get married and live in perfect harmony? That'd be great.
They could. Yes.
Sorry, stupid song.
That is in fact legal now.
It is legal. Miscegenation is legal.
It's a pretty name. I think Ebony.
I don't like it. It's but then again, I can't say shit because some of my kids have weird names too. Anyway, because this is Utah. Anyway, she said that we need to be teaching patriotism and civic responsibility as the preferred way to do things.
Right. But no.
Because mindlessly putting your hand over your chest and saying words is the best way to show your patriotism, you know? Charles Payne of Fox Business Network said that the notion of being patriotic, the notion of pledging your patriotism to this country, I think, should be a requirement.
No, it should.
No. That's the exact, that completely undermines a pledge. That completely takes away any meaning of it. Because if you do not consent to a pledge of allegiance, then it is meaningless.
Yeah. Can we go ahead and start living in an equilibrium world where I can take pills? So, and that's the funny thing is that, like, North Korea agrees with you, sir.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're with good company there.
Yeah.
So, and the one person correctly pointed out the students don't need a waiver to get out of it and said, what would happen if a child remained seated, got picked on? And Catherine Lynn Taylor, a GOP strategist, had a simple suggestion for that student. You can just get out of this country. Because that's so fucking easy. Let me tell you.
Well, not only is that just so easy, but really, how...
That's right. That's the right thing to do.
How absolutely un-American.
No, and you know what?
That's just...
If you don't like it, you can just get out.
Nope.
I
I'm sorry. Yeah, no. Those are not the words on the Statue of Liberty.
There.
Unless they updated them to, you don't like it, y'all can leave.
I just don't get how they...
Your huddled masses yearning to breathe free.
Wait a minute, I do get how they do this. It was Fox News. That's exactly how they get away with shit like this. So. And they wonder why Trump is leading the fucking charge. That's amazing.
But that's just it. See, rote memorization and allegiance to something you don't fully think about or understand is religion. Yeah. That is the idea. It is an accepted truthism that is not investigated.
That's
and that is where the GOP that is where the GOP currently lives. I don't even want to say that this has been I will absolutely go and say the Republican Party has not always been like this.
No, not at all.
No, not at all. And but currently they live in this religion concept of rote memorization. And allegiances to something they do not think about. Accepted truthisms without critical thinking or investigation. And
sounds like ISIS.
Yeah. It's just dogmatic patriotism.
Absolutely.
That's all it is.
All right. So the last one that we have for you is just more fine example of fucking right wing crazy ass white people talk here. We have more than 600 people, I say beach balls, packed inside of a Georgia courthouse for a 3-hour town hall meeting condemning a proposal for a new mosque.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Dear God.
Okay.
So it was a marathon meeting filled with bigoted insults and reassertions of well-proven myths. This is a great fucking article, whoever wrote this. We have already seen bombings and beheadings. What, in Georgia? Yeah, if I remember, the Olympic bombing was a fat white guy that did that shit.
Yep, he was.
8 years ago, our U.S. government got a Muslim president who has put Muslims in power.
Oh, no. Why?
Do I need to remind people that President Obama has stated and is a Christian? I think he's an atheist, but
I'm sure
I think he's Christian light. I think he's Christian like. Well, I think he's believer light, like my dad, because the dude was a hippie. We know that.
He's a cultural Christian.
Oh, speaking of believers, you remember how I've always talked about telling my dad about all the fun stuff that goes on with the show and everything?
Yeah.
You know, when you see those stupid as shit things on Facebook where like somebody says, oh my God, this actually works. And it's like some weird random image and it's like type 11 and see what happens.
Yeah.
Like the first thing I see this morning, I get up and the first thing I do is check the phone, see what's going on with the show and all that fun stuff. And I see my dad had typed 11. And I was like, oh man, I used to look up to you. It's like, I've never been more. I mean, my dad's disappointed me in my life. Every parent disappoints their kids, but that one was just like the icing on the cake. I'm like, First, it was the sex tape I found, and then all this other shit. And now it's you typing something on some rando guy's fucking Facebook page saying, I can't believe what happens when you type 11, hit enter and share.
I don't know. My grandma 11. Said that apparently my grandma has said that she doesn't believe in any of the God crap. She just likes going to church.
Yeah. So anyway, they're doing Al-Mahd al-Islami, a mosque in Doraville.
Uh-huh.
Can you explore Doraville?
No.
Dad joke.
You not without a map.
So they bought land in nearby Covington last June and got a county permit to make the lot a place of worship. Like every other fucking church does. But the mosque prepared to apply for a building permit to start working on the place and a next door cemetery to it, the ones where they bury him vertically and they make him face east. And actually, I don't know about the vertical thing. I'm maybe just be bigoted and stupid on that one. County commissioners put a 5-week hold on issuing any permits to religious groups because of this. The officials claimed they did not know the group planned to build an Islamic place of worship. It's called the Al-Mahd al-Islami Mosque in Doraville, bought fucking property and wanted to... If I'm the Stabbington brothers, I kill you like Deathorium, and I'm trying to apply for a permit to build something in your town, what the fuck do you think I'm going to be building in your town?
A bakery.
A Stabbatorium, not a bakery. I'll make them gay cakes.
The thing is, you know what? No, these anti-Islam bigot motherfuckers, they've gotten way too bold since Trump. They've gotten way too fucking bold. The white supremacists, the anti-Islam motherfuckers, they've gotten way too fucking bold.
Well, the worst part is they're forcing people like us to fucking defend Islam to a certain extent.
No, fuck that. We're not defending Islam.
No. I know, but just
we're defending their rights as citizens of this nation to exercise their freedom of religion,
and I will do that every fucking day. Yeah, I disagree with their beliefs. Yeah. I disagree with it all fucking day. I think it's toxic, and I think it's unhealthy. But guess what? I don't get to control motherfuckers.
They have every right to it. They have every absolute right.
One lady barked in front of the cheering crowd. It's hard for people like me, and probably most of you tonight, to draw the line between innocent Muslims and radical Muslims, since they've all claimed to serve the same God.
Radical!
And they all claim radical Muslim terrorists.
You know what?
And they all claim to follow the same book.
Radical Christian terrorists.
No, how dare
those
we?
fuckers are getting bold too.
Well, yeah. Some of them even tried to run for president.
Some protesters handed out satirical obituaries for the United States that claimed a good Muslim can also not be a good American. Fuck you guys,
Fuck
man.
You. Fuck you in the face. I know a Muslim girl.
So
I know several Muslims, but I'm actually friends with a Muslim girl.
Are you trying to say you have a black friend?
Actually, she's black, but I have a few black friends.
No,
she's a black Muslim.
No, but this amazing young woman, she has not had access to education like through half of her life. Okay.
Oh, okay. This lady.
Yeah. She learned calculus like in 2 semesters. Like she's fucking brilliant. And she's stoked to be here every fucking day. She wants to become a citizen because she actually has access to education. And she, as a woman, can have a job and she can do her own thing and she can go on dates. She fucking loves this shit. She loves Isaac Newton. And you're going to tell me that this woman who has been oppressed her entire life, who has been a refugee from Somalia and has come to America and has fallen in love with being here, you're going to tell me she's not an American? You can fuck right off.
Well, I don't know. She
nature of America.
She does sound pretty radical.
She skateboard too.
She actually might. She's that cool.
She's longboards.
So in the gaggle of people that were against this, there was a Jewish speaker that said that the comments seemed a little too familiar to her. If this discussion was happening 100 years ago, there's a good chance it would be happening to my people, she said.
Mm-hmm.
And 100 years or so ago, millions of my people, including my aunt, were sent to their deaths. So think about that, you fucking bigoted asshole.
Yeah.
100 years ago, this conversation would have been happening against Catholics.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, that brings us to the end of the news. We're going to go ahead and jump to our first break, and we'll be right back with Multiple Choice Mormon. Be right back.
Oh, jeez.